Does Renfield suck? Hey guys, my name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. I really do appreciate it. I decided to go with red for the background for a vampire Dracula theme, but I was able to see Renfield a few days early, and I'm here to tell you if it sucks or not. So make sure you guys stick around to the end of the video so you guys know my rating of the film, or else you might be going into a film that might not be right for you. Now, let's get started. But real quick, guys, let me know. Are you guys excited for Renfield? Are you guys counting down the days to see it on your calendar? Are you guys big Dracula fans? I saw the Francis Ford Coppola one a few months ago. It was fantastic. Are you guys big Nicolas Cage fans? Whatever the case may be, let me know down below. So Renfield is directed by Chris McKay, and he directed The Tomorrow War, which was actually quite fantastic. Very underrated. I am in the minority on that one, but I really loved that movie. And of course, the Lego Batman movie, which was cute. And it stars Nicholas Hoult, Nicolas Cage, Awkwafina, Ben Schwartz, the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog, and many more. And the story follows Renfield, Dracula's servant, or as they say in the movie, his familiar. And he attempts to rid himself of his duty to serve Dracula, and for him to really gain control and be his own person, live on his own. So what are my thoughts on this movie? Well, have you guys ever had it where you have had just a long day of working and you're like, I just want to escape? That's what movies are for, right? To escape our soulless corporate day jobs. And I'm like, I'm gonna watch Renfield. Hopefully this movie will cheer me up. And when this movie started, I'm like, oh my god, guys, this is gonna be bad. I know exactly what I'm gonna say in my review. This movie sucks, the big one, because it starts off quite terrible. I'm thinking to myself, this movie's gonna be really bad, because right off the bat, you could tell something was just off. You meet Nicholas Hoult's character, Renfield, and he does that whole narration where the picture freezes, we got the freeze frame, and he's like, hold on, you should want to know what's actually happening right now. I bet you're wondering who I am. My name is I'm like, okay, just stop with this garbage. I've seen this trope used way too many times. You are not clever. It felt just like, oh, I'm being really, really cool right now. I'm a lot cooler than I actually am. Whenever a movie makes you feel that way, like they're talking down to you, it's a really bad sign. And this movie had it. To start off with, bear with me here. So that turned me off right away. And of course he has that Evan Hansen acting where he's like, kind of just shy and timid, and you know, your Newt Scamander acting, and I don't like him. Didn't like the acting, didn't like the tone of the movie so far. The jokes weren't landing, just like nothing was working. It was extremely odd, and it felt sluggish, and I was just thinking, I don't want to watch this. And then Awkwafina comes in, and I'm like, okay, some humanity. I really love Awkwafina. I think that she is fantastic in everything that she's in. So she's in the movie, great, but what's her motivation? She wants revenge for her dead dad because some mobsters killed him, and he's the head of the police department, or he was the head of the police department. She's a cop, her sister's in the FBI, and her sister, played by Camille Chen, gives one of those like, you're not the only one who lost a dad. And I'm like, I'm watching some really soap opera TV show. Like, this just is terrible. And I'm just going, oh, like, I'm not feeling this. I think this is going to be a real big miss. And of course we have Nicolas Cage, right? And this is just from the beginning of the movie, okay? I wasn't really feeling Nicolas Cage at the beginning. Of course, they showcase some shot from the original movie, the same lighting, the same effects, and they put Nicolas Cage in there, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of neat. But he doesn't have full power yet, so he's kind of like this weird, Evil Dead-looking creature, and you can tell that it's Nicolas Cage, and his accent slips up once in a while, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm just not really feeling it. Maybe when he gets to full power, he can really break out of the cage and become Nicolas Cage, right? That was my poor attempt at humor there. But then something happened. The first big action sequence. We had a few small action sequences before this one, like really tiny, but the first real big action set piece where Renfield and Awkwafina fight off these bad guys in a bar. The choreography was fantastic. It was over the top. It was brutal in terms of just like the blood and guts and gore. It was so campy. It was creative, but it had some spunk. It had energy. It was fun. And it was the perfect length as well. And after the fight, there's a heart-to-heart between the two actors, Awkwafina and Nicholas Hoult, and she goes up to him and goes, you know what, Renfield, you're a hero. And he's like, I am? I'm a hero? I've done something good with my life? And I'm like, there it is. That's the movie I've been looking for. Some heart, some humanity, and some over-the-top campiness. That's what I've been looking for, and for the rest of the movie, it found that perfect balance. I was extremely shocked how this movie just started off on the wrong foot and then suddenly got on the right foot and stayed that way for the entire rest of the movie. Also, guys, if you guys like this video so far, hit the like button. Thank you so much. And all of a sudden, the floodgates opened. The jokes started to come left, right, and center, and they actually worked. There were quite a few funny jokes about ska music. And there's this random guy in the police force who everyone just tells him to shut up. And it just keeps happening throughout the entire movie. So random, but yet so funny at the same time. The humor started to land, and I was laughing out loud again and again and again and again and again. And Awkwafina, I think she is the best character in this movie. She is just phenomenal. She brings humanity and humor to everything she touches, and she's just so likable. I loved her in this movie. And like I said earlier, the action is absolutely spectacular. They go all out, and it's creative and it's fun. It brings energy. The action in this movie is wonderful. I would say like the main reason to watch this is Awkwafina's performance and then the action. Like those two were fantastic. Now, Nicholas Hoult is good. He's a good character in this movie. However, I don't think that he was necessarily the right casting choice, or maybe I should say this, he could have been played by anyone. He doesn't really bring anything that spectacular to the role, but he's likable. He kicks ass in the action sequences. He's a very serviceable protagonist. But I do think they could have had someone with some better chemistry with Nicolas Cage and Awkwafina. And before I get to Nicolas Cage in this movie, there's actually a good message. A message that I was thinking to myself, yeah, you know what? A lot of people could learn something from this movie, and so could I. And that's taking power from narcissists and from people who abuse you back for yourself. Taking charge of your own life. Being responsible for the things going on around you and the way that you respond to them. Especially if you are a codependent person. And Nicholas Hoult's Renfield goes to like the support group over and over and over again throughout the movie, and all those characters are really great fun. I really loved that support group, and they have a lot of hilarious moments. But Nicolas Cage, he's the one actor you really want to know my opinion about, right? He's awesome in this movie. He is. But I do feel like he was underutilized. I really do. I think that they could have gone way crazier with Nicolas Cage, and he could have really delved deep into the role of Dracula. But for the most part, it felt like Nicolas Cage wearing a Halloween costume playing Nicolas Cage. Like, he's still the character in Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. He's playing Nicolas Cage playing a vampire at a Halloween party. I didn't really see Dracula. I felt like they had a salary cap on his performance. If you guys are sports fans out there, you want to hear a sports metaphor, there was a salary cap on his performance. They could have really utilized him more, but he does shine in quite a few moments, I will say that, but less than I wanted him to. So the question is, does this movie suck? Well, the first act, absolutely. And I was thinking to myself, this is going to be a terrible, terrible movie. But after the first action sequence and Awkwafina and Nicholas Hoult had a heart-to-heart, it won me over. It really did win me over. I had a fun time with this movie, and I do think it can fall into that cult status territory. I think of like Freaky, that other Universal teenage slasher movie. I think that this movie can kind of fit into the same vein. Watch it every Halloween. It's not great, but it's enjoyable, campy, fun. So for an overall rating, I'm gonna give this film a 3 out of 5. I liked it. I think with some better pacing and a much better first act, I think this film would have been a lot higher on my rating scale. So those are my thoughts on Renfield. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear them. And if you want to support the channel, hit like and subscribe. And don't forget about Patreon. The link is down below in the description. We watch a movie every single month and we discuss it. I give you guys movies every single month, which is a great time for the people who win, of course. Some people have really expanded their collections because of the movies that I've given them. And you guys get to see content early. So it's a wonderful time. Join the Patreon family down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys again soon. Take care.